Aloha. You want to talk about egg beaters? We can do that. All right, guys. You guys ready? So today, we're going to be talking about the lightning strike. Oops, wrong button. We're going to be talking about the lightning strike. All right, it's the brand new electric motorcycle. It was just unveiled by Electrek, E-L-E-C-T-R-E-K. It is the most affordable, high-power electric sport bike. Now, I have a picture. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this on Spotify, I have a picture on the YouTube live stream. It's down here in the lower corner. I know probably for some of you that are watching it on phone, it might be a little bit hard, so go ahead and turn that phone to landscape mode so you can see it a little bit better, and then swing it back over so you can do the chat. Did you guys know you could do chat if you have the phone sideways? Just letting you know, I found that out recently. And anyways, this is the new electric motorcycle. It's going to be coming out from Electrek. And like I said, this thing just popped up. The original topic was, what is the best, worst, and craziest motorcycle ride you've ever been on? That's what I was going to be talking about. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two topics today. I'm going to be talking about the Lightning Strike electric motorcycle. And I'm going to talk about my best, worst, and craziest motorcycle ride I've ever been on. So you're going to have two topics today, but it's only be one title, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Anyways, the bike features an impressive array of specs with a low entry price of 13 grand. Holy crap. $12,998. I don't know why they took $2 off. And remember, guys, I'm getting this straight from the company, electrek.co, and then it just came out today at 12:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a new article. The link is in the description of this chat of the YouTube's. It says source. But anyways, get your information from me. I'll go ahead and read you some of this stuff and some of my opinions on it. So anyways, Lightning motorcycle based in San Jose, California. I think Matt and I talked about the Lightning motorcycles a while ago because this is why. They rolled out their newest electric motorcycle today. The Lightning Strike employs a number of innovations from the company's previous model, the LS218. Does that ring a bell to anybody? Because that bike holds the world record for fastest electric motorcycle at 218 miles per hour. So Electrek, they seem to kind of know what they're doing here. All right, Electrek. I keep saying electric. Electrek seem to know what they're doing here. Let me go ahead and click a little button over here. Let's see. All right, so the Strike, that's what this is called, the Lightning Strike. Jeez, that sounds, man, that's so cool. So Lightning Strike is available in three different options. The Strike Standard, ooh, sounds fancy. The Strike Mid-Range, even fancier. And the Strike Carbon Edition. So it's made out of carbon. All three use the same liquid-cooled motor, but offer different levels of power, speed, and battery capacity. So that's one thing that, now here's my opinion. Now we're doing it in the opinion mode. DanDanTheFireman opinion mode. When it comes to electric motorcycles, when it comes to these specifically, and they talk about different models of electric bikes, it's always like a different, capacity, different power, different all that stuff, and it's obviously because they're using different batteries and different things like that. But that's not something you get in a hydrocarbon gasoline fueled motorcycle. I mean, you get what you get, unless it's like an 883 or 1200, for example, Harley 883 and 1200. That's pretty much it. But they all, I mean, you kind of know what you get there. So I mean, the getting the different specs. So I'm guessing the Lightning Strike is like the Sportster. Now you can get the Strike Standard, which is the 883. You can get the Strike Mid-Range, which is the 1200. You can get the Strike Carbon Edition, which is going to be like, like what was it? The Screaming Eagle 1200. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's kind of where you get, but it's like, this is a little bit different. It's a little bit more confusing because when you look at it, the Strike Standard specs start at, it's $12,998, so it's $13,000. The motor is rated at 67 kilowatts. What the heck does that mean? And an insane 245 NM. What the heck does that even mean? Is that newtons? Are we getting into science over here? Units of measure. Let's look it up. Wikipedia. NM. Wikipedia. What is up, Scouts Adventures? How you doing? All right. So NM Newton meter. There you go. Sounds right. Newton meter is a unit of torque. Okay. So there we go. And I'm kind of playing into it because it does tell you in parentheses on the website the motor is rated at 67 kilowatts, which is 90 horsepower. Holy crap. And an insane 245 newton meters of torque, which is 180 foot-pounds of torque. The strike standard has a top speed of 217 kilometers an hour. Who does this? Who does kilometers an hour? Jeez, come on. This is America. 135 miles per hour. That's pretty dang good for a freaking for 13 grand. 13 grand, you're gonna get basically double the horsepower of a 1200 Sportster. How much foot-pound of torque does a Sportster have? Somebody in the chat, please let me know. And 135 miles per hour, that's still faster than my bike. I mean, my Speedo goes to 120, but I think going downhill one day, tucked in, full tuck, I probably got it to 130. You know, a couple years ago. So, statute of limitations in California should be kicking in by now. That was back when I was being dumb. Anyways, so the strike standard features a 10 kilowatt battery that offers 161 kilometers of range, which is 70 to 100 miles of range. That's basically like a 2.2 gallon tank from a Harley Sportster. I keep using Harley Sportster because that is what I know. So that's basically like the small peanut tank on a Harley 48 mixed in with my 3.3 gallon tank of my 1200 Nightster. So I can get roughly about 100 140 miles range depending if I'm going interstate. And then the little peanut tank can get about 70 to 100 miles of range. Anyways, and this says highway/city. Now with electric bikes, I believe that this charges itself, and I'll get to that real quick. Plow Anderson, to be honest, America needs to get with the rest of the world with the metric system. I know, because in medical, we still use the metric system, and we use milliliters, cc's, and all that stuff. It's America is stupid. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. America, please don't strike me down. Anyways, the battery can be recharged either overnight with a 110 level 1 connection or in 2 to 3 hours with a J11 or 1772 level 2 public charging system. So when we talked about the LiveWire, I looked up what these level 1, level 2, level 3 connections are. And level 1 is basically a power outlet. So like just like a normal, I mean, it's a 110 volt. So it's just a power outlet. So you go into your garage, plug it in like it's a battery tender, and then overnight it'll charge. Or you can do 2 to 3 hours at a public charging station. So if you ever see those stations out, you know, in front of a gas station, or if you ever see those, and it's weird, electric station at a gas station, or you see those charging ports at, let's say, I just saw one recently at Bookman's. I went to Bookman's yesterday. Pretty cool. And Bookman's has a charging port. Now, I'm assuming that's a level 2. So, I mean, you go in and you can hang out for like 20, 30 minutes like you're shopping, plug it in, and it should get you, you know, like a quarter of the battery charge. So that's pretty cool. The standard onboard charger is 3.3 kilowatts, but can be upgraded to 6.6 kilowatts for an extra $1,500. Now, I'm thinking that is like it charges itself when you're riding, so that's why you get 100-mile range in the city, because you know the stopping and going, the brakes will charge them up. So we'll see what that's all about. If somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. The strike standard weighs 206 kilograms, 455 pounds. All right, so now that we got through a lot of that stuff, that is the strike standard. We're going to talk about the strike mid-range, and then we're going to talk about the strike carbon edition. And we're going to kind of go over some of the differences and stuff, but here's the thing is I'm not going to spend too much time since you guys all know, since I explained to you, since I'm super smart what a kilonewton is and or kilowatts, and the Newton matrices are and stuff like that, so we don't have to go over that again. So the strike mid-range is priced at $16,998, so 17 grand. Still cheaper than LiveWire. It is nearly identical to the strike standard. That's great for an extra 4 grand, except with a larger 15 kilowatt battery. So the strike standard has a 10 kilowatt battery, and that gets you anywhere from 70 to 100 miles. So a 50% increase, That's what, 115 to 150 miles of range. So about for 4 more grand, you get an extra 50 miles of range in city. Not bad, not bad. But the larger battery bumps. Oh, it says right there. All right, look at it. I did the math in my head. I'm smart. That battery bumps the range up to 100 to 150 miles of range, and the charging time will also be a bit longer to the larger batteries. So I'm hoping overnight you can still charge it. But 2 to 3 hours with the level 2 charging system, maybe it's 2.5 to 3.5 hours. Who knows? Adding a 6.6 kilowatt charger option can bring the charge down below 3 hours again, though. Okay. I wonder if you still have to pay the $1,500 for the extra 6.6 kilowatt. The Strike mid-range weighs in at 465 pounds, so the extra battery only adds 10 more pounds, which is kind of cool. You understand ohms, watts, and volts? What's up, Cola Buds? How you doing? I'll be getting to you guys real quick. I'm sorry. I'm so excited about the electric. So all right. So the Strike Carbon Edition. Now this is 20 grand. You know, $19,998. 20 grand. For the extra cost, riders get more power, speed, and range, as well as faster charging, higher-end brake and suspension components, and a carbon fiber body package. Okay, that's cool, I guess. The motor with the Strike Carbon Edition is boosted to 120 horsepower. Holy crap. And the battery's upgraded to 20 kilowatts, so you get double the range. So 150 to 200 miles of range, which totally kicks the Livewire's ass by 10 grand for the cost. And pretty much double, maybe, I think probably about 50%, 60% more range, and it weighs less. I think it weighs less. This is 485 pounds. All right, the 6.6 kilowatt charger option comes standard. Okay, that's good. With the Strike Carbon Edition, as does native support for level 3 DC fast charging. So level 3, you can, and I'm going to use the Livewire once again, because that's the one thing that I kind of understand, is that when I talked about the Livewire, there wasn't an option for the level 3 charger, and I was a little upset because the level 3 charger can charge the Livewire itself from 0 to 90 something percent within 45 minutes. So if this is the case and they have a level 3 charger inside the bike, or like it comes standard, or it says native support for it, so I mean it'll support the level 3 plug. So that means this bike will charge. I'm jumping ahead. I need to just read the whole paragraph. It says right here, the DC fast charging will do the trick in as little as 35 minutes, or provide 100 miles of range in just 20 minutes. I just need to read this thing. I think I'm so smart. All right, the Lightning Strike Edition is outfitted with every possible upgrade option, including Olin suspension, Brembo monoblock brakes, AIM Strata racing dash with lap timer and GPS-based data logging, plus a carbon fiber body package. There's no need for customers to configure their Strike Carbon Edition. It comes with all the boxes checked, bro. Let's see. The Strike Carbon Edition will be the first version of the Strike produced, with deliveries beginning in July. So guys, you're going to be seeing some of these bikes out in July. Isn't that cool? So here it is. The Strike Carbon Edition is 485 pounds, 20 grand. Strike mid-range, 17 grand. Strike standard, 13 grand. That is nice. And it looks like a badass sport bike, to be honest. And remember, this is in Palo Alto, so this is pretty cool. So Zero came out with some stuff. Livewire, Harley came out with some stuff. So this is the new bike from Lightning that's coming out. And I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and leave... Oops. Let's go ahead. I'm going to leave the picture of the Lightning Strike right here for everybody. And we're going to go ahead and swing on over. If you have any questions about the Lightning Strike, a good time to ask. But we're going to jump into the next topic, which was the original topic. What is the best, what is the worst, and what is the craziest motorcycle ride you've ever been on? All right. Here we go. Little space in between. So guys, my best. Let's start with the best. Good news, bad news first. What do you like? I like the good news first. So guys, the best motorcycle ride I've ever been on, the first thing that pops in my mind, that's usually how I go about things, is the first thing that pops in my mind when it comes to any question that I ask myself is probably what my gut wants me to say. All right, so the best ride I've ever been on, or my best ride that I've been on, was when I went from Yuma, Arizona to Payson, Arizona. This was a 5.5 hour ride, and it was in June. It was in June, and it was hot as heck in Yuma. If you don't know what Yuma is all about, it's all about the heat and Marines. So basically, it's super duper hot, and I went from about 110 degree, 120 degree temperature, got to see the low desert. I mean, Yuma's below sea level, so I went from a low desert, going through Phoenix, went up past Phoenix, Arizona, up into now more of the higher desert towards Payson, and the cool transition of cacti to pine trees, or to bushes, to pine trees, to ponderosa pines, to where now it's like 70 degrees. And then when I go up into Payson, I went to go camping. So I had to keep going, though. I mean, I had to keep going, and now I went on the Mogollon Rim, went all the way up to the Mogollon Rim, and now it's getting even colder because now I wanted to camp on the north side of the rim. The north side of the rim is higher elevation than the south side, and it has a great view. I actually have a bunch of videos on this. I have a bunch of videos I pretty much recorded from the moment I left, vlog style, all the way into camping and then on the way back home. So there's this big playlist that I have of the Payson camping trip. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. I had some good memories there. I took some amazing pictures with the GoPro Hero 4 Black because they have, with that camera, it has really good nighttime pictures, high shutter speed, or low shutter speed, something like that. I don't know. Camera technology. I used to know what I'm talking about. But it was amazing. It was amazing. It was one of the greatest rides. And the one thing that I remember about that ride is just taking my time. I think that was one of the things, is that I was just enjoying the ride itself, not necessarily destination, because once I got to the destination, I wasn't super duper excited anymore. I missed the ride. I was riding for 5.5 hours. I get to the campsite and I'm just like, okay, now what? And I took a massive nap. It was great. I went hiking after the nap. Just getting comfy. Sorry, guys. Getting super duper comfy with my Vance Hines t-shirt. Yeah, boys. But I just remember that being so relaxing. That was probably some of the best throttle therapy I've ever had. All right, so the worst ride. The worst ride that I've ever had. Sorry, Matt, but this happened with us. So we did our normal Yuma to San Diego ride. We would go to Yuma to San Diego, and we would do that every once in a while. And we had a blast each time. And this is back when he had Cafe Sportster. I had a Cafe Sportster, and it started off great. I'm gonna tell you right now, it started off great. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a fun little ride. I'm playing with a little tripod in my hand, so that's what that is, guys. We were doing it great, and then we got to El Centro, which is about 45 minutes, 50 minutes from Yuma, Arizona, and I guess we got pulled over. I mean, we did get pulled over, but I guess we got clocked at a nice speed, and we didn't know. We couldn't hear anything. And that's the thing. That's another thing, guys. Is like what I'm telling you is that you can't hear shit when you're out on a bike. I didn't hear the sirens. We're on the interstate. I talked about outrunning the sound, so loud pipes do not save lives, especially on the interstate. We couldn't hear anything. Honestly, couldn't. So that guy blasted past us. The cop blasted past us, and that's when we figured out, oh crap, there was a cop. So we pulled over. We did our thing, and he told us that we were speeding, but he just told us to slow down. So we're like, okay. So that kind of put a little damper. It's like, oh crap, we don't want a ticket. So we were like going nice and slow through the mountains. We were going nice and slow through the all the way through. I think it's the Laguna Mountains. And then when we're riding, a freaking coyote, a little baby coyote, ran across the road, and we almost hit the freaking coyote. So I'm like, dang, all these crazy things are starting to happen. What now? So we decided to just keep going. We're like, we're gonna take it nice and easy. We enjoyed ourselves in San Diego. It's like, man, we just got to take it nice and easy. I think it was on this trip also that we went to a roundabout not went to a roundabout. That's stupid. We went riding, and I was in the lead, and there's a roundabout, and I went, and I think the other guy was supposed to yield or something, but he went too, and he went to cut off Matt. Basically cut off Matt. So a car versus a motorcyclist, basically. Cut off Matt, and this was, I think Matt had forward control, so he had he had mid control, so he had the Cafe Sportster. Okay. It cut off Matt, and it pushed him to the side, and he dropped his bike. No damage really, but it was kind of freaky because I saw it in the rearview mirror, and we pulled over and we're like, dude, like we're just having like a negative energy. And then on the way home, we were just like, screw it, let's just go home. We weren't having a good time after that. And we had a Prius pass us on the interstate on the way home. Yeah. 1200 Sportsters and a Prius passed us. We're just like, man, this sucks. But after that, that was like the worst ride I've ever been on. Probably not worst as in like, oh man, crappy things happens, but the worst in terms of some negativity kind of brought in and ruined the trip. But then again, it gave us a good memory, so that's pretty cool. The craziest ride. Oh man, I remember. Like I said, first thing that pops in my head was I went to Julian, California, when I was still in Yuma, Arizona. And in Julian, California, it's a beautiful ride. You get some really nice pie up in there. You get some apple pies, some blueberry pies, some pecan pies, whatever kind of pies you want up in there. So it's a great place. And so anyways, I decided, I planned it out. I wanted to do a cinematic video. That's kind of how I used to do videos on YouTube. The video's still up. The video's up there. It's my Julian Ride if you ever want to check it out. It's got really good music behind it. It is copyright claimed because the music is not my music. It is official music from somebody, so they get all the money for it. So I don't care. It's fun. Anyways, so I went riding. It takes about an hour and a half to get to a specific spot. Like I said, El Centro is about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. So I wanted to capture the sunrise from this specific spot that was over an hour and a half away. So I left super early. I did all the planning. I had everything packed. The goal was to camp in Julian that night and then go to San Diego the next day. But I went, got all this footage, got all this nice stuff. I spent all day recording. So this was back when I had, I think it was a GoPro Hero 2. Yeah, it was a GoPro Hero 2. And that was it. I had a GoPro Hero 2. No, I had a GoPro Hero 2 and a cheap Sony Handycam. Okay, and this thing didn't film in 60 frames per second. The Handycam didn't. The GoPro Hero 2, I believe, filmed in 60 frames per second, but I wasn't filming. I think I filmed 30 frames per second. Anyways, this was back before I was able to get good tech, like the U4K. And so I went filming, and I got some massive B-roll shots. I put the Sony Handycam on top of a mountain. I would go riding, and I got footage of that you can still find on my channel. You see me running down to the bike and ride. It would take me about 45 minutes to set up a shot for like a 10-second clip. So I spent all freaking day. I spent all day doing this, and I kept going back to the pie shop, charging up the GoPro, charging up the Handycam while eating some pie. Had lunch. I spent all day. It was probably like 3 p.m. And I'm talking, I was there from sunrise. Sunrise is about 3 p.m. I'm getting tired. I'm like, all right, last one. So I go and I ride, and I set the kickstand down. It's kind of on a hill. Once again, I'm setting up a shot. I step off. I'm on the side of the road. I step off, and the bike falls over on top of me. And I'm like, what the heck? I look down, and I see the asphalt, because it was a little bit warm at this point. I see the asphalt just like caved in. Like my kickstand went through the asphalt, and then it kicked the kickstand out. The bike fell over, and at this point I fall over. I'm in the street now, and I'm like, oh crap! So I get up and I try to pick up the bike, put it over. My left handlebar, the clip-on, is bent. I didn't have any tools at the time, which was stupid of me. It was bent. My clutch lever and clutch housing was bent, and I think my license plate was almost broken off, and a few other things. So that was a big issue. And I'm like, man, there's no way I can finish the ride all the way to California. I got some bent products, you know, or bent bike. I got some issues. I just got to go home and see, double check. And I was freaking out because I was like, man, my handlebar, the clip-on was like deep into it almost scratched the tank. It almost bent the tank, but luckily it didn't. And it was deep in. My other handlebar was correct. And so like I rode all the way home all cramped up on the left side because I didn't have any tools. Like, once again, that was stupid of me. This was before I started doing beginner tips. So this is why I talk about watching your kickstand in asphalt. This is why I always recommend carrying tools specific to your bike when you're riding. And all these things. It was rider error. It was asphalt's fault. So that was my craziest one. But the reason why it was crazy because I got home and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna edit all the footage that I got, and it came out to probably be one of my favorite cinematic videos I've ever made, and it has a nice story behind it. And the bike wasn't permanently damaged. All I had to do was get a new clutch lever. It's the clutch levers that I have currently, or the lever set that I currently have on my bike. Had to get new housing for it. The license plate, it was whatever. I still have the license plate that's all bent up. I just said screw it. I just rebent it the other way, and then that was pretty much it. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And those were my craziest. That was my best and worst rides I've ever been on. And we talked about the electric bike. If you're just now joining in, we talked about the electric bike. It's called the Lightning Strike Electric Bike. Starting price, 13 grand. Pretty badass. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and take off the electric bike off of the screen here. Now it's up to you guys. Now I want to hear what you have to say. What is your craziest? What is your best ride? What is your worst ride? You could pick one. You could pick two. You could pick all three. I'd love to read what your best ride is. I'd like to read what your worst ride is or your craziest ride. And now's the time for me to say it out loud and share your story with everyone else. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's in here listening to my goofy ass talk. I really love this. I really love hearing that, or not hearing. I mean, it's weird hearing my own voice, but I love to see what Spotify has, because I see that we have 50 listeners. We have probably about 20 followers on Spotify, and I just started it this week. So guys, if you want to swing on by Spotify, it really does help. Well, I mean, I don't know how it doesn't. I don't get money for being on Spotify, but it's just a way for you guys to listen to this right here. But like in your car or even on your bike, you know, still be safe. But this will allow you to listen to this on Spotify and get your information and news. We do this 5 days a week. Can't wait to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have the schedule for tomorrow, but that's a Patreon perk. I don't want to give out the Patreon perk because there's no point in being a patron if I keep giving things out for free. But at the same time, it's just tomorrow. 24 hours from now, you get to hear it. So guys, I'm going to kind of scroll up. You guys are talking a lot about the electric bike. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm going to just kind of pick apart some of this chat here. I'm so glad they're making more aggressive looks for electric bikes. Ploy Anderson says, yes, this one looks more like an electric bike. The Livewire, I have no idea what the Livewire is supposed to look like. This bike actually looks like a sport bike. It's a pretty badass bike. And it's just, one thing that really kind of gets me is that there's no freaking exhaust. What does this sound like? You know what I mean? What does this sound like? I like the looks of the cafe style from Honda. It would be a cool electric bike look, but I think they should do it for every style. Yeah, so I mean, you could really change it up. I mean, I wonder what a naked bike will look like. Now, I think a lot of the reason why they're making electric sport bikes is because of the fairings. The fairings do cut down on wind resistance, and I think one of the biggest limitations about sport bikes is range. So they're really trying to increase the range on a lot of these things. Federico Pacheco. Hey man, I'm buying my first bike now, but as it is now, I can only buy a 300. If I save up 2 more months, I can buy a 500. But I don't know if I can hold myself. Dude, it's just 2 months. you'll probably enjoy the 500. Now, if the budgeting type thing is like, man, 2 months is really going to change the difference between a 300 and 500, you should probably wait 4 months. That way you don't become broke after buying a bike. 4 to 6 months then, man. That way you have a little cushion just in case you might miss a payment. You have something there. You know what I mean? Like the Kawasaki did with their 650 line, which is the same engine but different size bike tuned differently. I'm pretty sure electric manufacturers can take on that idea. So I think a lot of manufacturers are going towards a modular style for any of their bikes because, I mean, why not? You know, it saves down on production costs. It saves on a lot of other things. And, I mean, you use the same bike, you just have a different motor or it's differently tuned. So I'm pretty sure, I think that's what the FTR is going to turn into because it does have a modular frame, so they're able to change it up. Right now it's a 1200 motor, but I think at some point they're going to put like an 800 in there. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, go ahead and quote me on that. I don't care. All right, so here we go. Best ride for me. So Cola Buds, I let you guys some stiffs. Cola Buds, best ride for me is along the Lake Michigan shoreline. It's a summer ritual for me, planning to film it this year. That sounds relaxing. That sounds like some really good throttle therapy. Thank you for sharing that, man. So Ian Van Dyke, is Spotify live too, or are they only up once it's over? Spotify, once this stream is over, I download the audio. I basically get all the audio. I go through my Premiere Pro. I cut off the first like 3-4 minutes where it's just me kind of chit-chatting, so it goes straight to the topic. And then I upload it to my website, DanDanTheFireman.net. You can actually check out all the DDFM show stuff there if you would like. I do have an embedded player on there with all the stuff. You can even download it, the files there if you want. And then it goes up on Spotify, usually the night or the day after. So it's not live, but it's up the day after. And same thing with the rebroadcast of this live stream. It's up tomorrow, depending if YouTube will... or depending on if YouTube does the cutoff. Because I cut off the very first beginning. That way we go straight to the point. I haven't had enough rides to pick between best and worst. Today's ride was pretty damn windy though. Or darn windy though. That's another thing is I had another crazy ride after a Tough Mudder up in Phoenix. And the side winds was like 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. I couldn't tell the difference. I just know it was damn windy. And I was leaned. This was back when I still had the Cafe Sportster, and I was leaned like super far into the wind just to stay straight. So that was a little crazy. See how we have all these memories? It's pretty badass. Let's see. I haven't. Okay. Do electric bikes even make sound? I think they do. I think you just hear like the tires. I have no idea. So guys, we're at 270 patrons. I just want to say thank you once again for making all this stuff possible. If you would like to support the channel, it's $1 a month, and you get a ton of perks. You get a ton of cool things from behind the scenes for 3 cents a day, and it really does support the channel. If you'd like to donate though during the stream, donate through the Streamlabs link. All links are in the description. It'd be helpful. All right, so first ever ride today. Makeup. Congrats. So I suppose it's the best. There you go. Good thing it's not the worst yet. Put 65 miles on the Rebel and loved every second of it. Fighting the wind on the bridges and highways was way more intense than I expected. Yeah, you'll realize that if you fight it more, the harder it gets. So like a lot of times you just kind of like relax a little bit and grab with your legs. But I'm so glad that you're starting to ride 65 miles on the Rebel. That's good. You almost I think that's like half a tank or 3/4 of a tank of gasolina. So that's congrats, man. Worst riders, Nicholas Dubois. Worst riders when I was having a bad day, so I went for a ride and rode 3 hours away. When I stopped for gas before heading back, it wouldn't turn over and no one would jump my bike, so I had to call AAA. Oh, to make a bad day worse. There's been a few times where I've had a bad situation and I decided to go ride. And halfway through the ride, I decided to turn back. Like, there's a few times where I decided to go to San Diego from Yuma, which is a 3-hour ride. And halfway around, I was like, screw it, I'm just going back. Because, like, that's how good throttle therapy is. But that really does suck, having to call AAA. Good thing you had AAA. And some motorcycle insurances do offer roadside assistance, so that's something good to double check in your own insurance. I just had the best ride a couple days ago. I rode 50 miles south through. This is Dan SHEA, everybody. The guy with the. He sent me this badass knife. Yeah, boy, Damascus knife, yo. If you're on Spotify, you can't see it. If you're listening to this audio, you can't see it, but it's sick. I love it. It's on my counter for when I open up packages. Speaking of which, I got a package. I got a brand new green screen on the side. Maybe I should put it on like a blanket and disappear. Anyways, Dan SHEA. All right. I just had the best ride a couple days ago. I rode 50 miles through Orange County in the country, and it was beautiful. Then went to Fredericksburg, another 50 miles, and lots of curves. Sounds like a beautiful day. Sounds like a beautiful day. Cola Buds saying nice to makeup. Congrats on your first ride. Thank you guys for the crew. Thank you for supporting others. I appreciate that, man. That's why I'm reading that. Electric bikes sound like jets. Oh, that'd be crazy. Ryan Price, good riders went on a 2-hour ride to Vero Beach, chilled at the beach, had lunch. What sucked was had to race back before a thunderstorm came in. Going down I-95, it was windy as hell, but beat the storm. But now you have a story. Isn't that awesome? That's one of the... Can any of you guys tell me your best, worst, and craziest drive in your car? No? Okay. That's the great thing about motorcycles, man. Mr. Nick, is there any benefit to having AAA membership when you ride a bike? Yes, they do have. AAA does have a motorcycle-specific one. So, I mean, it's kind of like an Arizona license where you have AAA or you have a regular motorcycle license, and then you can get AAA with motorcycle, or you can have a driver's license with a motorcycle endorsement. So you can get the extra upgraded option of having a motorcycle on it, and they come pick you up, and they do a bunch of stuff, and they take care of you. I forgot exactly what all is entailed, but definitely check out AAA. If you do have roadside assistance through your insurance, it's almost the same thing. I'm not 100% sure. I am going to be talking to Progressive Insurance about some information on motorcycle insurance, kind of what you get. So that is something that I'm working on right now. I really want to answer you guys' questions about motorcycle insurance, because that is something I haven't discussed on this channel yet. But I want to answer your guys' questions, so I'm slowly but surely becoming educated on motorcycle insurance. So that's as much as I know right now, but I'll definitely get to you. Desolate Tree, new rider here. Love your videos. Thank you for being here. This is the DDFM show, number 8, and we do this every day. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do these videos. So this tomorrow is going to be... I forgot what tomorrow is. It's already filmed. It's already up. Tomorrow's video is actually available for all $20 patrons, the senior crew patrons, and for YouTube channel members. YouTube channel member, that's only $5 a month. So tomorrow's video is going to be 6.5 reasons why motorcycles are better than cars. That's going up 2 p.m. Arizona time. It's already up. I see it right now. It's going to be a blast. Make sure you guys check it out when it comes up tomorrow. Let's see. The face of lightning strike looks like the black dragon from the movie How to Train Your Dragon. I know, it looks cool. It's called, and his name's Toothless. Let's see. What do I do if I notice fluid near the fork seal? Ooh, you might want to check your fork seals. You might be losing some fork oil, which can cause some issues. Randall, oh yeah, I noticed it. Mr. Nick, it is very nice to have if you ever break down, you can get your bike home fairly easy. Yes. You hear the electric in the air with those bikes. The motors can have some whine, but it isn't loud past about 20 feet away. And so that's another thing, is loud pipes save lives. I mean, you're going to start seeing people riding these electric bikes, and there's not going to be any difference in terms of loudness versus quietness in safety. It's all the motorcycle rider. Okay. Let's see. Vulcan S rider from San Antonio. Juan, yeah, boy. AAA on bike is for battery only unless you are in an area where there's trucks are equipped for bikes. Oh, that's interesting. Ian Van Dyke, my worst ride was when I had only been riding for a little less than a week and accidentally dropped my clutch and pulled a fat wheelie. Landed it. There you go. So that is your worst ride and craziest ride then, because you landed a fat wheelie within 1 week of riding. Cold Buds, I'm from Indiana, so I go along the part of the shore. Nice. Battery only. Well, then it might not be worth it if it's battery only. That's kind of dumb. Ian, I did the same thing, but I didn't land it. Ooh, Desolate. That's terrible. Harley has a hog membership that will pick you up anywhere. That's good to know. I am part of the hog membership, but you can get a portable battery jumper from Walmart. So I have one specifically for motorcycles. Get Lord Cycles sent me it for Christmas, so thank you, Get Lord Cycles, for that. I keep it in my saddle bag. Let's see. Hog provides roadside with membership. Nice. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I drive a car currently, and I only have worse experience. Driving is pretty boring, and I use it for work. Ploy. So you can have a worse experience because it's worse than riding a motorcycle. There you go. When you have a passenger, Bob, easy when you're in the car. That's your worst. I ride mostly along Beverly Shore and Central Beach. Cola Bud says, and he's talking to Nicholas. So that's the cool thing about guys. That's the cool thing, guys. About there you go. My dyslexia kicked in. Is we have this massive connection through motorcycles, and if you want to check out the Discord's absolutely free, everybody. If you're listening to this later, make sure you check out the description of any of my YouTube videos. We have a Discord. It's a giant chat room just like we're doing right now on YouTube. It is absolutely free. Click it, join, and I'd love to see you guys in there. And we have a bunch of people from all over the country, all over the world, and we've actually had people meet other people and develop really strong relationships in terms of, friendships and who knows anything else. Let's see. For my insurance, they'll bring gas and jump motorcycles, but nothing more. Yeah, and there's also different levels and different packages you can get through insurance. So what I didn't know, and I've been doing the research today, is that you can get passenger medical through some different types of insurances. That's really cool. So if you have a passenger, you can possibly get some medical. All right, I got the course roster from Trina, my boss, at RideArizonaMTC. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. I got the course roster right here. Ooh, I cannot wait to see who's gonna be at the course. This will be this weekend, March 30th and to the 31st. We will be teaching the BRC1, which is the very beginner class, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to coach. So if you would like to join and be a part of it this weekend out here in Tucson, Arizona, RideArizonaMTC is the place to do it. Now, if you're in Phoenix or Sierra Vista, Casa Grande, any of these other places outside of Tucson, they offer classes in Phoenix and they offer classes in Casa Grande and all those things. So make sure you guys check out RideArizonaMTC and sign up for a class. It's not just beginner classes. There's advanced classes, bike bonding classes. There's a beginner rider course 2 where you bring your own bike and do some cool stuff. It's a great thing to do. I highly recommend taking a class. I've taken all of them. Let's see. I don't believe in Ride a Motorcycle Prius. This bike has 120 horsepower though for the Strike Carbon Edition. That's a cool shirt, bruv. Yeah, Vance Hines sent it to me. It's beautiful. I'm thinking about going up to AZ Bike Week, but we're gonna see. It's kind of a different schedule this year. I really want to go. I want to check out Vance Hines. They will be there, and I just want to say hi to them. I think it'd be really cool. I'm gonna actually email them today or tomorrow. I fell asleep today. I was supposed to get some stuff done. Tomorrow I will be hanging out at Davis Monthan. It's a base out here. It's an Air Force base out here. There's gonna be like 50 something riders, so I'm gonna see if I can get some footage. If not, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a blast. And after that, I got some work to do at the house. I got like bed beard on my right side of my beard. If you guys can see that. See, look at Nicholas Dubois, Small World. That's only 2 hours away from Cola Buds. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want lights on my rims so I can look like Tron. Used to live on Davis Monthan. There, look at Bob Easy. Look at this stuff. Small world, everybody. Small world. This is insane. I can't see how riding a motorcycle for a while and then having to stop for 2+ hours to have it charged to get. I would rather just fill up my tank 4 minutes and ride back. Yeah, that's one of the things about electric bikes and electric cars. The thing is with electric cars, especially the Teslas, the newer ones especially, they have a huge range. Later, Dwayne. See you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. Teslas have a huge range. The newer ones anyways, and that's not necessarily an issue because you're not really doing stuff. So I think the reasoning behind the reasoning behind the shorter range on electric motorcycles, obviously it's a smaller capacity battery. It's a smaller battery. The bigger the battery, the more capacity you have, the longer you can go. But I think the use purpose of a lot of these bikes are in city, or the commute of one city to another, which is roughly pretty close. So I think the use range for a lot of these bikes will be anywhere between 50 to 100 miles a day. And that's a lot. Honestly, that's a lot. I mean, I could ride, I can commute to work and back when I was working away from home, it would have probably given me 30 to 50 miles. And that's how, if that. So I mean, like that, I think that's the use case for a lot of these bikes. I think you're getting the high horsepower, the 120 horsepower, and the high torque, because that's just a electric bike. That's how they are. That's just how electric bikes are. So that's pretty interesting. But the thing is, I think a lot of these bikes are the use cases in town, in city. I don't know until they get a better capacity battery, or they make a massively heavy bike, because if you notice, a lot of these electric bikes are about 500 pounds, 400 to 500 pounds. Now there's some really big gasoline bikes that are closer to 800 pounds. So imagine putting a 300-pound battery on a bike, on a bigger bike. So then I think you can get that longer distance, but then with that higher capacity, you have a higher charging time. So that's kind of the limitation when it comes to batteries. Yeah, that might be an issue. Currently doing 150 miles a day for work. So Joshua, this would not be a use case for you. So for you to commute, to use this as a commuting motorcycle to work, it wouldn't work for you. So that's kind of where an issue is. But here's the thing is, I think a lot of these motorcycles, a lot of the electric type stuff that's coming out, it's going to replace gasoline. It's going to replace hydrocarbons at some point, or it's going to be an alternative. At minimum, it's going to be an alternative. So I think what's going to happen is that you're going to get yourself an electric Tesla. Let's say you're going to get yourself a Tesla, and you're going to have a 500-mile range on a Tesla. So you're going to use... So Joshua, for you, it's going to be to the point where a Tesla is going to be just as inexpensive or expensive as a nice sedan. You know, so it's like, okay, well, I can afford to get a sedan, so now I can afford to get a Tesla. I'd like to have a Tesla instead. Better options, better this, better this, you know, an AI in it. It's a smart car, you know, just like a smart fridge versus a regular fridge, you know. And it's like, okay, I'm going to get a Tesla. So I'm going to have like a power bank. I'm going to have all this stuff at home. I got the chargers. I got a level 2 charger installed. I don't need it. So maybe you just have a level 1, which is the 110 volt. So cool. I'm going to charge my car every night. Now you go out and you buy one of these electric Lightning Strikes bikes, and you're like, you know what? This bike is just for funsies. So you go out and you only ride like 20 miles. So you just charge it overnight. So that's kind of what I'm thinking when it comes to this. And that to me, it's like, well, now you have to be a 2-vehicle person. So once again, it's not going to be for those that need to have a motorcycle for commuting, and that's their single vehicle. So right now it's more so on the higher end of the income spectrum, but it's going to slowly come down. But I think at some point it's going to stall to where, for a lot of people, a lot of students specifically, when they have a motorcycle or a scooter, that they're going to have to get a gasoline powered one. But thankfully, a scooter can get you really high gas mileage. So makes sense, not science. Just ordered my third eye sticker to put on my helmet. Always watching. So a free way to ride back and forth to work. Then that makes sense. Science. Hey Dan, this isn't exactly related, but what type of light kit do you have with the amber glow, and where do I find them? Custom Dynamics. Custom Dynamics sent me. Oh Derek Sluter just became a patron. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Guys, that is the way to help support the channel. Guys, thank you, Derek. Thank you for becoming a patron. 271 out of 500 patrons. And you've noticed it only costs $1 a month, $12 a year, and you get a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff. And you're going to make it to where I can continue doing this full-time, or just watch my videos. Go check out my videos. If you have a question, a lot of times if you have a question, I have a video. So Ian Van Dyke, I do have videos on that. Since we're getting closer to the end of the stream, I will find it for you. And I have no problem if you leave the stream to watch another one of my videos. Let's see. So Custom Dynamics sent me the Underglow. So what I got from them was I got the Magic Flex 2 kit. Really cool. I really like it. And I also got the Custom Dynamics Pro Beam LED lights. So my brake lights are really very powerful. My headlight is not a Custom Dynamics. I got that from Amazon. It's still working great. It's a $50 headlight. So Ian, what kind of bike do you have again, buddy? Because this headlight's $50 and it's lasted me for well over a year, and it's way better than stock. Way better. Way better. So let me go ahead and the CRF 250L. Okay, so I don't know if the Custom Dynamics would work with your bike, because I think they mainly do cruisers. But here's a link to the Custom Dynamics LED kit video. So I got I got ground effects, front and rear wheel, the Black Magic wireless remotes. I got all that stuff. Really cool. I love it, love it, love it. So thank you once again, Custom Dynamics, for sending it out to me. I got it for safety related. Once again, guys, when I talk about doing any type of brand deals, they sent it to me for free. For full transparency, they sent it to me for free, but I told them I will not just say good stuff. So if you notice in my install video, I talk about how much of a pain in the ass it was, but then at the same time, I talk about how customer service was amazing. So the reason why I actually got the LED kit is because I wanted an LED kit. I wanted one for safety at night. And I chose amber because that is what's legal in Arizona. And on top of that is the most highly visible light at night. So I chose that. So I only pick stuff for my bike and for my viewers that I know will benefit them, benefit me, and has a safety-oriented approach. And so I've actually turned down like 3 companies today that wanted me to do brand deals for them. I turned down at least one a day, because there's no use. There's absolutely no use. And you know, I thought about this before we started the stream, and I know we're towards the end, but those of you that are still here, I want you guys to say congrats to John Maxwell. Guys, John Maxwell just hit 100,000 subscribers. 100,000 subscribers. So that is amazing. I am so happy for him. I remember when he first started making videos and stuff, he was below me, and then he passed me up big time because he has such high quality stuff. And I love his content. He has one of my shirts. I'm always supporting him. So everyone say congrats. I can't wait to see what his silver play button looks like. So Neon Laws, I see Dan Shea say Virginia. Let's see, Virginia law restricts additional aftermarket vehicle lighting, which includes neon underglow. Therefore, it's our conclusion that neon underglow is not legal in Virginia. So here you go. I'll send you the information I got. So I don't think you're gonna be able to do that. So neonlaws.com/Virginia is where I got it, and they pulled the state statutes. Yeah, dude, I can't wait. The play button will be right here. Play button will be right here. Yeah, it's governed by the usage of neon underglow lighting is governed by Virginia Code Title 46.2 Motor Vehicles, Subtitle 3 Operation, Chapter 10 Motor Vehicle and Equipment Safety, Article 3 Lights and Turn Signals. Yeah, dude. Google, man. But I use neonlaws.com to figure out what it is I could do. Neonlaws.com has the state underglow laws for every single state, they give the recommendations and they pull all the facts. And this was something that was pulled, I'm assuming, because a lot of cars really want to have neon and glow, and it must be like a really good or really big subculture. So that is something really big for them. Yeah, I want you guys to check out John Maxwell and say congrats. Do hashtag DDFM crew sent you or something. That way he knows he's getting the love from the crew. It's really cool of him to hit that. We're at 78,673 subscribers at this moment. So where do you find the neon info? So neonlaws.com. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll post it for you again. You could just scroll up where it says neon, where I sent it to Dan Shea. But neonlaws.com, that link is in the description of all my custom dynamics videos. That way you know. Yeah, no problem, Cola. No problem. Neonlaws.com. So guys, thank you Derek Sluter for becoming a patron. I appreciate it. If you would like to become a patron, if you haven't yet, I'm going to tell you right now, $1 a month makes a huge difference for me. I mean, $1 a month. I found $1 on my desk. So right now I can become a patron to somebody for $1 right here for 1 month. And if that makes the difference, and if they're going to be if they're going to be making content because of this $1 for at least that month, I will do it. I'm actually a patron member of at least 8 different patrons at $5 a month. So I mean, I spend over $40 to $50 a month just on other people on Patreon alone, and I do super chats and donations to other streamers all the time because I know how important it is, and that's just kind of how I live my life. You know, once I realize how important it is to myself, I share it back. And thank you, Dan Shea, for being such a legend. Thank you, Bob Easy, Nicholas Dubois, everybody that's a YouTube channel member. You make it to where I can actually give back to other people that are doing positive stuff. So I'm going to be heading out. It's 6 o'clock. I just want to say thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. It's been a blast. You guys have been amazing. And just remember, tomorrow I will be here. I will be on the show for the Friday show. And then at 2 p.m., 3 hours before the show, is the new video that's coming out. Just got a 0S lightweight and torquey. Yeah. Oh, dude, Iowa Jojo. Join the Discord, bro. I would love to talk to you about that. I would love to talk to you about a little bit more on electric bikes, because that is something that, you know what, someday I might get. Now that I have a house that I can charge stuff, I wouldn't mind getting an electric bike. So Iowa Jojo, click that link. That is the Discord link. Craziest ride, and Moto BMX Man says, craziest ride was when I commuted to work, and when I left work, a car pulled out in front of me when I was going 50 miles per hour, causing me to crash into the pavement. Ooh, hopefully you're okay, man. Jelly Visser, see you later. See you, Brian. See you, Bob. See you, Ian. Cola Buds. See you guys.